Alright everyone, welcome back again to more Umineko. We finally completed episode 5 alongside the first half of the tea party, and now moving on to the 4 question mark, which I like to call the second half. So if anything else guys, we're about to see what happens next and pretty much complete the whole of episode 5. So I hope you all continue to enjoy. Thank you again for your love and support, and let's see this through. In the cathedral devoid of people, a figure could be seen still staring up at the heavens. Its chest pierced with a long red sword which pinned it in place to the ground. It was the figure of Battler. Ironically, it looked just like what he had done to Beata with blue wedges in the 4th game. Battler had died quite some time ago. No, in this place the concept of death means nothing except that one has stopped thinking. Therefore, in a sense, Battler was not dead. After being defeated in a fight over the truth, he no longer had the strength to think of a way to resist. And so, he was dead. You know the funny thing is, I figured he wasn't quote-unquote dead. I figured the red truth is just keeping him in place until he's ready to take it on. And I'm assuming that's exactly what's going to happen the moment we finish this part of the tea party, I guess. Delnor's massive long sword, which had been left in place of a tombstone, fastened Battler to the spot even after his death. This was being lit by a faint light seeping out of a high skylight. Quiet footsteps rang out across this still cathedral. From the darkness behind a pillar, a woman slowly stepped forwards. It was Beatrice. Her eyes had no light in them, and looked the same way they had for so long in the Golden Land, still muddied over with gray. Previously, she couldn't even drink black tea properly without assistance, but now, though it was slow, and though there was no life in her eyes, she was, surprisingly, walking. And with slow, deliberate steps, she reached Battler, who was still dead and pierced. Then slowly, she touched him. She tugged on his sleeve. However, Battler showed no reaction. When she realized that it wasn't sleep, but death, the witch with the forlorn gaze drooped her head even lower. Then, she quietly whispered,
"Uso tsuki."
Beato softly touched Battler. Then, she pressed her forehead against Battler's chest. There was no longer any heartbeat. It wasn't just because he had surrendered. It was because the witches had banished him from the game board. So now, Battler would never return. So now, the Golden Witch Beatrice had no more reason to exist.
ありがとう、嘘つき。さよなら。そして、ごめんね。
Then, the Golden Witch, her task completed, scattered as a spray of gold. In the Golden Land, the gray rain gently continued to fall. There was a faint aroma of good black tea. Beato stared blankly at the surface of the tea. There was Virgilia, continuing her knitting, along with me and Delanor talking to each other. This is a flashback. A flashback to a memory of battlers which Delnor's sword must have given him as it pierced him. A flashback of that time Delnor had come to visit the tea party in the Golden Land.
"私も同じです。次に太刀を交えるときは遅れは取りません。
上等だ。相手してやるぜ。全力で来い。
約束します。全力です。
Delnor. I thought she was a rootless killer doll without a heart. But maybe she actually is pretty approachable. Though of course neither of us will show any mercy when fighting on the game board. For a while, we gazed at the rain-drenched rose garden, as we quietly enjoyed our tea.
しかし、恐ろしいもんだな。お前の戦い方は。ノックス実会だったっけか？
What was that sound? That sound usually means something. Hold on, let's see. Oh, okay. Knox Decalogue, the 10 Commandments created by Delnor A. Knox, father, and used in heresy trials. Knox first, it is forbidden for the culprit to be anyone not mentioned in the early part of the story. Second, it is forbidden for supernatural agencies to be employed as a detective technique. Third, it is forbidden for hidden passages to exist. Fourth, it is forbidden for unknown drugs to obscure scientific devices to be used. Fifth, not included. Why is the fifth not included? Isn't that just as important? 6. It is forbidden for accident or unaccountable intuition to be employed as a detective technique. It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit. Number 8. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented. Number 9. Observers are permitted to put forward their own conclusions and interpretations. Number 10. It is forbidden for a character to disguise themselves as another without any clues. The debate over the interpretation of these laws continues to this very day, and has become the source of countless unfair controversies. While fundamentalists call any infringement upon these commandments heresy, revisionists point out that many canonized geniuses have violated these rules.
ミステリーのお約束ってやつだろ？
はい。我が父が考案した戒律です。
隠し扉は存在してはならない。ノックス第3条だっけか？だから探偵は隠し扉を探す必要さえないわけだ。なかなかな暴論だな。
Berncastle talked about this. She said that even searching for hidden doors is a waste of time because they're forbidden by Knox's third commandment. It makes me want to argue back and say it isn't so uncommon for a rich family's mansion to have a hidden door or two built into it. But apparently, you can get away with that kind of rule in the mystery genre. As an aside, there exist many wonderful mysteries in which hidden doors appear, and where hidden doors are the theme. Though of course this is limited to novels which have the premise that hidden doors exist. Without that premise, hidden doors must not exist. So, if that premise isn't there, there's no need to search for hidden doors. I think that's probably the essence of her ridiculous argument. I get the feeling that the detective trying to expose the truth and the illusion trying to mask it with fiction are getting blended together, leading to a bizarre form of argument similar to a devil's proof. Making a locked room murder seem to be accomplished by a witch with magic, that's fantasy. Exposing that it was humans' crime done with tricks, that's anti-fantasy. Investigating all possibilities to expose what those tricks are, that's mystery. By claiming that possibilities with no hints supporting them are unworthy of investigation, that's also mystery. Hidden doors, by definition, are hidden in the way that there can't be any clues. Wouldn't claiming that hidden doors therefore necessarily exist even if the detective can't find them be anti-mystery? That's enough of that. This argument is too far for digression from the riddles I'm actually supposed to be solving. My fight is very simple. I'm only fighting to explain that it was possible for a human to carry out these crimes which were supposedly carried out by a witch. This whole discussion about mystery and anti doesn't serve any purpose, so I can't bring myself to have any particular interest in rules known as the Knox Decalogue.
ノックスはお嫌いですか？
苦手だな。隠し扉の存在を調べもせずに全否定可能なんて、なんだかおかしいぜ。悪魔の証明並みにうさんくせえな。ファンタジーの対極のはずなのに、なぜか同じ論法になっちまってる気がするぜ。言い過ぎた。お前の親父が作ったんだもんな。
お気になさらずに、戯れに過ぎないとおっしゃる方もいらっしゃいますので。
バトラ君には実会はかなり傲慢なものに感じられるのでしょう。
正直なところを言えば、隠し扉は存在してはいけないから、調べる必要さえないなんて。頭のネジが落ちてないかどうか、一緒に床を探してやるところだぜ。
では、バトラー、その第3条をなかったことにしましょう。そうなったら密室ミステリーはどうなるでしょうか。
What if Knox's third commandment, hidden doors are forbidden, didn't exist?
つまり、密室トリックのオチに、隠し扉が OK になるってことか。
手がかりや伏線のある隠し扉ではありません。隠しなのですから無論、探偵にも発見できない隠し扉です。
バトラ君はよく悪魔の証明により発見できない X の存在を仮定して戦いますね。つまりはそういうことですよ。
最悪だな。密室ミステリーが読み物として破綻しちまう。
That was another way of saying that those kinds of stories would simply no longer work. No one would want to try solving the mystery in the first place if they knew the answer might just be an unforeseeable hidden door.
せめて隠し扉はありませんと保証してもらってからじゃないと、推理する気も起きない。なるほど。ノックス第3条は必要だな。それがなけりゃ、密室ミステリーは読み物にもなりゃしねえ。
推理する気も起きないとは、つまりどういうことですか？
つまり、読む気もしねえってことだな。
そういうことです。人間は推理可能だという保証を得なければ思考さえできないか弱い生き物なのです。
推理可能。すなわち、頑張れば解けますよという励ましが必要なのです。
That might actually be true. It's the same with exercising. If you're told to run 10 laps around the campus, you can tough it out. But if you're made to run without even knowing how many laps it's going to be, you'll probably get tired out before you even make it around 3 times. The same thing goes for thinking and reasoning. Depending on whether or not a problem is guaranteed to be solvable, the way we humans react to it changes completely.
推理小説で探偵が犯人が分かったと宣言するシーンがあるでしょ。あれはつまりそこまでの文章で手がかりはすべて記したから。読者諸君、どうぞ推理をしてくださいという合図なのですよ。
へえ、単なるお約束のセリフかと思ってたが、そんな意味があったんだな。
意地悪に言うと、探偵がそう宣言しない限り、どんなにミステリーを愛する推理自慢の読者であっても、推理をする気力は生じないということです。
過去のゲームにおけるあなたもそうではありませんでしたか？
Come to mention it, maybe that really was the case. My fight against Bieto began in earnest starting with the second game, I think. When Bieto threw locked room mysteries at me at first, I didn't seriously try to tackle them. After all, I knew nothing except that people had died in a locked room, and the windows and doors were all locked from the inside. I had basically no hints, so I refused to debate on the grounds that I couldn't fight because the lack of clues made reasoning impossible. After that, Bieto sneered at me, didn't she? Asking whether I would repeat that over and over forever in an endless repetition of moves. At that time, Bieto said this.
貴様ら無能どもがいつも嘆いてみせる思考停止の理由、情報不足。そして、それに対し情報を与えると、今度はその情報の真偽を疑う根拠否定。便利よの。無能を棚上げする 実に小気味よい言葉よ。
Then she said she'd give me a reliable information that couldn't be denied, and created the rule called the Red Truth. Only after Beata had done all that for me did the curtain finally rise of my battle with her.
俺はベアトに、この物語は挑めば解けるという保証をもらって、初めて同じ土俵に上がったというわけか。
ベアトリーチェ、不思議な方です。謎こそが魔女の住まう狭間なのに、自らその謎を暴くことのできる赤き真実をあなたに与え始めたのですね。
You could say that the red truth is a hint Beato gives me so that I'll agree to compete in this war of reasoning. It's a carrot. Being given a hint is like she's saying, go on, try solving it. It is possible. An enigma which is guaranteed to be solvable can't be called a true enigma.
これではまるでベアト自身が自分は本当は魔女じゃないって自分で認めてるようなものじゃないか。
おやおや、確かにそうなりますね。本当におかしな子です。
Beato gave no answer. With gray eyes, she did nothing but blankly gaze at the steam rising from her black tea.
我が父は思考する力に杖を与えるために実戒を生み出したのです。決して物事を傲慢に決めつけるためではありません。
思考する力に杖。
そうです。ノックス第8条。提示されない手がかりでの解決を禁ず。これは手がかりなしに当て推量で推理をしてはいけないという意味だけではありません。
逆に言えば、出題者は解決のための手がかりを必ず提示しなければならないということです。
つまり実戒に従うなら全ての謎には必ずヒントがあり、よって必ず解決は可能だと保証されてることになるわけか。
I see. So this is what she means by a crush for the power of thinking. If you can believe that it's solvable, you start feeling the desire to have a go at those riddles. If you're capable of believing that hints do exist, you get fired up about rereading the story to search for them.
確かに推理しようとする人間にとって勇気を与える力はあるかもしれないな。
ノックス実戒はミステリーの出題者に課す制限と思われがちですが、読み手にとっても大切なものなのです。実戒を杖とすることで、私たちは推理する勇気と必ず隠されているに違いない手がかりを求めて、何度も物語を読み返す気力を授かるのです。
硬くて開かないジャム瓶の蓋みたいだな。母さんがよく言ってたぜ。開かないと思ってるといくら頑張っても開かないって。スポーツにもそういうのあるよな。必ず自分は成し遂げられるという強いイメージがあるのとないのでは記録に大きく差が出るというし。
In that case, the Knox Decalogue isn't really a set of arrogant and strict restrictions. You can also see it as a way to encourage readers who are trying to solve the mystery by telling them to give it their all since it's definitely solvable.
面白い解釈だ。しかし世の中の推理小説すべてが必ず実戒を守ってるわけでもないと聞いたぜ。そういう作品にぶち当たった時騙されたってことにはならないのかよ。
実戒もまた解釈の一つに過ぎず、すべてのミステリーに適用できるものではありません。父の原理主義者の方々は実戒を破った作品を異端と呼んで激しく糾弾される方もいらっしゃるようですが。
There's no end of arguments like this in the mystery world. Is this or that famous detective novel a fair mystery? In other words, one that follows Knox's 10 Commandments? That sort of argument is already an internal theme of the mystery world. In fact, in mystery discussions, arguments like these sometimes become more heated than talk about the actual solutions.
そりゃ糾弾したくもなるだろうな。実戒に従い、解けると信じて挑んで、実は解けるようにできてませんでしたってオチだったら、さぞや悔しくて仕方ないだろうぜ。
That's right. When fighting with the Decalogue, there's just one thing you want guaranteed from the beginning. And that is the guarantee that the detective novel would adhere to the Decalogue. If a work labels itself as an orthodox mystery, then you have nothing to worry about. However, the mystery genre contains many unorthodox subgenres within it. Does that mean that trying to use reasoning in an unorthodox detective novel is a complete waste of time?
それはそれで、
はい。私も父の実戒をそのような傲慢の武器にされるのは非常に悲しいことです。
お前は実戒を武器に、さっきベアトと戦ったわけだが、それはつまり、このベアトのゲームの世界が、ノックス実戒にのっとっているという証なのか。
When I asked that, there was a strange silence. Virgilia, Dillanor, and of course Beato all remained silent for a while. Almost as though my question had touched at the core of something.
それは私の口からは言えません。
どうして？
これはこの子の作ったゲームです。あなたと勝敗を決めるためのゲーム。この子はそれをミステリーとファンタジーの対決のように呼んでいました。しかし残念ながら本格推理とは一言も言っていません。すなわち実戒にのっとっているという保証はないということです。
しかし同時にミス・ベアトリーチェはあなたとの勝負のゲームだともおっしゃっています。それはすなわちあなたにも勝利する余地があるということ。
すなわち推理は可能だって、そう言いたいのか。
この子に言わせればおそらく推理は可能となるのでしょう。しかしこの子とバトラ君が送り手と受け手の関係であるように二人は異なる存在です。ベアトにとって推理可能なつもりで出題したものがあなたにとっても推理可能なものなのかは別の問題です。
For example, let's say we pose a simple riddle that any Japanese person would be familiar with. However, if a person we're telling this riddle to is a foreigner with a Japanese/English dictionary in their hand, it might be almost impossible to solve. It's possible to have one-sided solvable problem, which might be easy for the questioner but extremely difficult for the person trying to solve it. By the way, do you know the foreign riddle? Why do dragons sleep all day? The answer is, because they fight knights. It's a riddle from the English realm, so it might be a little tough for a Japanese person.
だからこそ私はこの物語がバトラ君に絶対に解けるものだと約束することができません。しかしこれだけは約束できます。赤き真実でそれを保証します。
なんだ？
ベアトはあなたに解いてほしいと願って解けるようにこのゲームをこの物語の謎を生み出しました。それだけは私が赤き真実で保証します。
It was the one guarantee that all those who try to use reasoning desire.
その答えが我が父の実戒にのっとり導き出せるものかはわかりません。しかしバトラが悩み苦しみ推理の指針を求めるときにもしも思い出したなら我が実戒も試してみてください。再び挑む勇気とひょっとすると何か新しい発見を与えてくれるかもしれません。
ありがとうよ。心底行き詰まったら お前の戦い方も参考にしてみるぜ。っていいのかよ。敵に塩を送っちまって。
お気になされずに、手土産も持たずに訪れた茶会です。茶花の代わりとなったなら幸いです。それに私と再び相まみえたなら、そんな悠長なことを言っている暇はおそらくないでしょうから。
Knox's Decalogue, and Virgilia's Red Truth.
ベアとは、俺に解いてほしいと願って、解けるようにこのゲームの謎を生み出した。
In other words, Beato thinks I can solve it. Isn't that proof that it's possible to apply logic to this? Of course, that's from Beato's point of view, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be possible for me to work it out. But compared to before now, when I didn't even know whether applying reasoning was possible or impossible, that one sentence might give me a great deal of courage and strength. At least it has the power to silence any negative thoughts about it just being useless anyway.
推理できると先に相手に証明させなくては推理をしない。まるで奥手な若者の恋愛のようですね。
恋愛？
ええ。自分のことを愛してくれると相手が先に証明しない限り、自分も相手を愛したくない。でしょ
Both boys and girls want to hear someone say, I love you to them first without being prompted. That's the dream. They don't want to love another person until they are sure that the person will love them back. After all, there's nothing as painful as a one-sided love, and the emotional scars of a love that doesn't work out last a long time. Because they're afraid of that pain, more than anything else, they want assurance that the other person will love them back.
なるほど。推理小説における作家と読者の関係を面白く表現しています。
That's actually not far off either. Yes, maybe you could liken detective novels to that. Both the writer and the reader. First want the other party to tell them, I will solve it, or it can be solved. Until the writers are sure that readers will definitely attempt to solve their story, they don't want to write it. The same goes for the readers. Until they are sure that they'll definitely be able to solve the story if they try, they don't want to read it. Because they don't want to write what they consider a masterpiece and be hurt when no one reads it. Because they don't want to apply logic to what they consider a masterpiece and be hurt when they realize it was all useless.
その理論によると、まさに奥手な小学生、中学生の恋愛だな。気があるくせに打ち明ける勇気もなく、相手の告白を待って、もじもじしたまま何の進展もなく、ひと夏が終わる。いやいや、他の男とくっついちまうことだってあるぜ。俺の初恋もそんな感じだったさ。
Along with these one-sided feelings they can't express, they lament the passage of a summer which will never come again, the days of their youth end. The writer who wouldn't write until he gained the support of readers goes for all eternity without releasing his maiden work. The reader who waited for a writer's rise to fame goes their whole life without knowing the joy of the mystery genre.
バトラ君、その卵が先か鶏が先かという奥手な恋愛はどの段階にまで進んだら相思相愛の関係になるのですか？
それは積み重ねだろうな。まず友達関係から始めてコミュニケーションを増やし、こいつ疑えなくなった段階を二人が共有できたところで、まあ多分自然と恋人関係に進めるんじゃないかと。唐突な告白で始まった関係は割と別れることも多いが、実は互いに告白したことがなく、気づいたらずっと一緒にいたって連中の方が案外付き合いは長いってのが俺の今日までの印象だ。
つまり、互いが相手を信じる信頼関係が生まれたらということですね。
うん。かもな。意外だぜ。ミステリーってのは作家と読者のバトルだと思ってたんだが、実はそうじゃないのか。
Alright everyone, I'm gonna end it here for today. Thank you all for watching. When we come back, we're gonna continue on and maybe finish this last half of the second tea party.